Okay, so there's this guy that's going viral online because he is hating on Korean food. He's saying that the flavors are monotonous. They always use the three same base flavors, and honestly, he's not wrong. And let me tell you why. You guys, here's a little secret. I mean, it's no secret, it's just history. Korean food is peasant food.
Korean food is peasant food. It's history. Does she have a point? Yes. My whole thing is a lot of food that we eat today is quote unquote peasant food. Still delicious, still world renowned. My dad's Nigerian, my mom is Jamaican. One of the most famous dishes in Jamaica is oxtail. Oxtail was considered peasant food. You know how much oxtail costs now? Go try to get a large oxtail. You got to take out a mortgage first. And that is peasant food. So I know what she's saying, but her tone and tenor is saying like it's a negative thing. A lot of food, because of history, and they had to be creative with the food that they had. And it's delicious. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Like, I don't understand. So let me jump more into this.
Like, I don't expect people to know that because obviously what else do you guys know about Korean culture other than what's shown on mass media? But when you look at our history, the food that we eat were what farmers and commoners ate back in the day. And it's so interesting to me because so many people in the comments are saying things like, oh, Korean cuisine is like the UK of Asia. And they're not.
I'm going to offend UK people. Do not compare Korean food to British food. Don't do it. Don't. I lived in Korea. I have visited England. I almost starved to death. I'm just saying. Like, I've never seen food that looked so delicious, but so flavorless in my life. It was actually quite impressive how good it looked and tastes like water. Do not do that to Korean food. I have my beef with Korean food. But it's not actually with the flavors itself. And I'll get more into my beef later.
Wrong. Because so is UK food. That was peasant food. Or so much of Korean food is built off of the circumstances of what it was like back then. Obviously, technology wasn't really available, so because of harsh weather and because people needed their food to last longer throughout the winter, they would preserve their food, which is where fermented food comes from. And same thing as the reason why so many of our dishes are actually vegetarian is because back then people couldn't afford meat. You hating on our fermented paste is because our ancestors couldn't afford anything else and they needed food to last throughout winter. I'm sorry that.
Yeah, that's how we got kimchi. I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a positive person. I'm all about taking your circumstances and how can you turn it into a W. She's absolutely right. How did we get kimchi? Because Koreans had harsh winters and they needed food to survive during the winter. So they had to ferment cabbage and they made kimchi, and kimchi literally saved them through the winter. I always ask my students, like, what's your favorite banchan? Banchan, by the way, is your side dish. Nobody rarely ever says kimchi, but kimchi is the most famous one because you were able to ferment it and it has history to it. What's wrong? I don't understand. I don't see her beef.
The survival instincts offends you. But honestly, I'm not hating. I kind of get it. Like, it's like I understand the whole part about our food being sweet. Like, everything in Korea is so sweet. And as someone who doesn't really have a sweet tooth myself, I find it quite difficult to eat sometimes.
Let me say this one more time. Let me say this. Actual hanshik Korean food itself is not sweet. It's the food that usually comes outside of Korean culture. They just be throwing sugar on that. They just be throwing sugar on that. Like hamburger, throw some sugar in that. Bread, garlic bread, throw some sugar in that. Food that usually comes outside of Korean culture, they be throwing sugar in there. But normal Korean hanshik food is not sweet at all. It is not sweet. Pastry sweet. A lot of pastries is not Korean, like original Korean food. Throw some sugar in that. Super sweet. Like the bread is sweet. Garlic bread, oh my God. Instant diabetes. Instant diabetes. If you ever want a culture shock, come to Korea and take a bite out of a garlic bread, a pair of spaghetti or something.
But you gotta have the stews and the soups. Like, that's where it's at in Korea. Why are you like? There are so many other things. Let's be real. Other that doesn't have gochujang paste. You have chosen to eat all of the food with the gochujang paste. Like, boy, there are so many options. You're just being a hater. But I know where you're coming from, and I just wanted to let you guys know the history of it because it's fascinating. It really is.
Okay, I got so many things here. I'm going to try to organize my thoughts here, okay? Number one, Korean food is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Korean food, I wouldn't say it's peasant food. From what I've been told, Korean food is humble food. It's humble. It's humble food. That's why if you look at original like hanshik, it doesn't look super flashy. It's supposed to be humble. Korean people are humble. When you are visiting somewhere and you're somewhere, you can't just take something. That's why I ask too many questions. When I go somewhere, the first thing I do is get a tour guide. The first thing I do is get a tour guide. I went to Colombia, I got a tour guide. Vietnam, give me a tour guide. Everywhere, give me a tour guide. Because I am asking too many questions. Too many questions. And the tour guide always say, you ask not the oddest questions, but the most in-depth questions. Because history, if you know the history, it will give you so much breadth into what's going on in different parts of the country. Number two, Korean food, yes, they use very similar ingredients in many of their foods. Every culture does. Every culture does. Jamaicans, onion, garlic, jerk seasoning, this season. It's onion powder, mix it up, cook a different way, there you go. Immaculate dish. We do the same. Every culture does the same thing. My beef with Korean food, I got two problems with Korean food per se. Number one, I don't eat pork. That's my problem. I don't eat pork. That's my problem. 70% of the food in Korea is probably going to have some sort of pork in there. And no pork on my fork. So no kimchi jjigaes, no samgyeopsal, no spam, gimbap. You got to be really careful. And another thing is, when you tell Koreans no pork, like bagel, they know it, but they don't really understand it. Like my students, they know I don't eat pork, and they wanted to treat me, and they bought me a pizza. Open that up, pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni pizza. And they know I don't eat pork. I'm like, oh, this pizza looks good. Where's the cheese pizza? They're like, pizza's right here. I'm like, yeah, pepperoni. I don't eat pork. They're like, oh. Like, it just dawned on them. Again, never angry. Never angry. Just telling it how it is. My second beef is not Korean food itself, it's the food selection in Korea. Korean population is 95% Korean. So the food selection in Korea is like mostly Korean. If you want different kinds of food, it's going to be very difficult to get in Korea. And coming from Canada, even though that place is cold and a little bit miserable, we are a melting pot of people. So you can get any kind of food you want pretty much anywhere. Anywhere in the world you can get it. Any kind of cuisine in the world you can get in Toronto. That's my beef. Is she right? Yes. But she went off the rails a little bit and her tone. Yeah, don't compare Korean food to British food. It's two different things. I don't know. You let me know your thoughts down below.